their 2024-2025 opponents. Of course, that includes USC and UCLA being added to the mix. So, quickly to kind of go over it, in 2024, UCLA will play Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and Rutgers on the road. They will then play Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, Ohio State, and USC at home. That year, USC will play Maryland, Northwestern, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA on the road, with Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, and Wisconsin at home. And then to follow it up in 2025, we have UCLA playing Illinois, Michigan State, Nebraska, Penn State, USC on the road, with Maryland, Purdue, Rutgers, and Wisconsin at home. And then finally, USC will play Minnesota, Ohio State, Rutgers, Wisconsin on the road, with Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Penn State, and UCLA at home. So some interesting matchups there. We have some going to play Rutgers. I know getting his tickets to go watch some of these games. He'll be in love. I think.
Can't wait to watch that thrashing.
USC will go to Rutgers in 2025, so I know you can't probably be first in line for those tickets.
Probably.
But Caleb Williams will be there, so I don't know what you're going to be watching.
Right. I'll have to hop on the next hot QB.
Yeah. So just kind of quickly glance at that. Again, that just came out just a little bit ago, probably about 30, 45 minutes ago. What matchups are you guys most looking forward to in that schedule? This on, with the new conference opponents, specifically, between UCLA and USC. Who are you most looking forward to them playing those first 2 years? We'll start with you, Jordan.
Probably the big two, Ohio State, Michigan. The cool thing I see, I don't know how if they're gonna keep this, but I how they have Ohio State, Michigan play every year. I want to see if they do that UCLA USC game every year. Now that's going to be another Big Ten rival game that everybody loves to watch and everything like that. But the big two, Michigan, Ohio State, I want to see how they transition and how they deal with these different kind of offenses than they probably see mostly, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah, for sure. Jess, what about you?
For me, outside of the big two, and obviously my bias with Rutgers, honestly, probably either one of them playing Penn State, kind of see where a UCLA USC kind of stacks up in that, hierarchy of the Big Ten moving forward. Obviously, as you said, they're not going to have Caleb Williams, but they'll have their freshman Malachi Nelson, I believe his name is, coming in, should probably be getting the start by 2025. I don't know if he's officially going to redshirt this year or if they're going to keep him, as a second guy or, however they're going to do it. But you'd hope by his official junior year, he'd be starting with how high of a pedigree he has. So, kind of seeing, where they stack up in a couple years, and same thing for UCLA. How do Lincoln Riley and Chip Kelly stack up against, the Ryan Days and Harbaughs of the Big Ten, so I feel like that Penn State game will be a good test to see whether they're really going to be able to compete, or is the Big Ten really just them in the top of the Big Ten, top of the SEC, really just pulling away from everybody.
Yeah, no, I think those were both good choices. I'm kind of interested in 2024. UCLA goes and plays Iowa on the road in Iowa. That's always, you see Ohio State, Michigan, other teams struggle playing at Iowa. If Iowa has any kind of pulse on offense at that point, I mean, those are going to be tough matchups because that defense is always pretty good, pretty physical. I would say probably one of the better defenses that either UCLA or USC have seen, because I don't think there's a lot of great defensive teams in the Pac-12. So I think that's going to be interesting. Some of those matchups you said, like the line of scrimmage, I think is going to be the thing I'm going to watch the most throughout both of these years, is the offensive defensive line, or I would think a big disadvantage for those Pac-12 teams. But we'll see. We'll see how it happens. All right. Next up, there was more big news that happened